I think it's a great fight. I honestly believed, I wouldn't be surprised though if Dustin doesn't fight him and fights somebody like Nate Diaz. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, look, I understand the belt means a lot. I get it. I understand that, but he's kind of done everything that he needs to do in the sport. He was the interim champion. Who cares? He's fought the best guys in the world. I know, but still, he still has the belt at home, my friend.
Yeah, guess what? He knows and he wants.
I get it. But this is a really tough fight for him. Stylistically,
this is a good fight for him. Yeah, Charles, this is one of his toughest.
This will be one of his toughest fights. And Charles right now he's on another level, like not another level above him. I'm just simply saying the two of these guys are on just different levels than the rest of the rest of the division. The rest of the division is not on par with these two. And so this fight, yes, I would love for it to happen. I would love for it to happen this year. And Dustin's got his hands full because this guy can fight everywhere. He can fight on the feet. He can fight on the ground. But if this fight hits the ground, Charles Oliveira is leaps and bounds above Dustin on the ground. And that's not a dig. That's not a dig at all on Dustin at all. But when it comes to transition grappling, I haven't seen too many guys that are as good as him on the ground, Charles Oliveira. And that's what I mean in terms of the grappling portion of it. Look, it's one thing when Dustin jumps on the head and arm choke because he's strong and he can get there. I understand that, and he fights for that and he gets that submission. That's fine. But when it comes to, hey, I missed the arm bar, I'm going to go to triangle. When I missed the triangle, now I'm going to attack the knee bar. That's the type of transitions that I'm talking about that you're going to get from someone like a Charles Oliveira. And I don't know if that's a level on the ground that Dustin's ready for. I mean, don't get me wrong, with punches, things change. But that's going to be a really hard fight for Dustin to have to deal with if he's thinking, do I punch or do I defend the submission, or do I defend the submission and then all of a sudden now I'm getting punched? It's a weird combination in which he's going to have to deal with when you know somebody's as good as Charles is on the ground. Dustin on the feet, I give it to him because he's got the power, the southpaw stance, the straight left, the way he puts his combinations together, the way he rips the body. I give it to him on the feet. So it's really going to come down to who can implement their game plan. But I mean, the way I saw Charles taking people down, the way he's done, I was like, damn, he's good. He's tough. So it's going to be a fun fight.
I think there's other things, there's other equations you got to look at when looking at this fight. I agree with you. On the ground, Charles is the better submission guy. That's why Charles has the UFC record for the most submissions. Okay, there's a reason why he has it. He's that good, and he transitions incredibly well from one attempt to another. He's always putting you in danger. He's making you have to defend, which makes it to where you can't be offensive against him, and that makes it, that he's going to come away with the win in the fight. And that's why he's where he's at. But you look at the stand-up, I think that Charles has got very good stand-up, but when it comes to fighting against a southpaw, it's going to change some of his stand-up. It's going to change what he's effective with, and the kicks are going to affect him in a different way because Charles does lead with a heavy leg when he's trying to be powerful, and he's going to try to be powerful against Dustin. The big difference here that I see is one guy goes 5 rounds hard. One guy doesn't. Dustin can go and build in each round. He gets better and better where Charles starts off good and starts to tail off. He's got that fast twitch muscle fiber difference and stuff where he's got to be the guy in control of the pace for him to be comfortable in the fight. And Dustin does a very good job of taking control of the pace and the pressure in the fight. So I think conditioning-wise, just the guy that can go longer, harder is Dustin Poirier. The guy that's got the better submission game is Oliveira. The guy that's better in the stand-up overall, look, they're close. Like you said, I think Dustin has more power than Oliveira. But, it all comes down to that, we'll see. And that's the best part about it because they both have their elements where they can win the fight. And they both have elements where you look and you go, if this comes into play, this could be the difference in that fight. And so I think it's a great championship fight. I cannot wait for it. And I think it's the right fight for Dustin Poirier. I think it's the right fight for Charles Oliveira and the right fight for Dustin because Charles needs to beat Dustin for everyone to look at him and go, yep, you're the guy. And Dustin needs to be in that position where undisputed is by his name. Just the way I look at it.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I don't think Charles needs to beat Dustin. I think Charles just done what he needed to do to become the champ. And I think if anyone needs to beat anybody, it would be Dustin needs to beat Charles, because Charles is the champ. Now, look, fighting somebody like Conor obviously was good for the bank account, but at the end of the day, everyone's going back going, all right, you beat Conor, but Conor was inactive or just wasn't as good as Conor used to be. So you beat a guy that really wasn't at championship level. And if you're going to say that, hey, you want to fight somebody, don't shake your head. No, it's true. Conor was not at championship level, and Dustin beat him twice. Okay, that's just the facts.
Hold on. Okay, this comes down to the whole thing. I love because this is when people talk about Cyborg and Nunez, and they're saying, "Oh, she's already beat her." Well, Conor beat Dustin once before and then lost twice, and that's what happens when you have really good fighters go against each other. You can have one, win one contest, and the other one's going to win the next. It's the difference. But you can say, well, I'll agree that Conor I think he made mistakes. He's still a great fighter. You can't take away. He's a great fighter. He made mistakes in the second fight where he fought it like a boxer. He took away some of the things that made him dangerous by fighting a different style of fight, because he was looking towards the future and he was going to fight somebody else in a boxing ring. That didn't work out well. He came back in the third one, and he was losing the fight, but the broken leg is what stopped it in the end. Okay, but he's still top level fighter.
Okay, but what I was saying was that he wasn't championship level fighter. That's what my point was. Charles Oliveira is championship level fighter. Right now, at this peak in his career, he's at the championship level of his career. He fought Chandler, beat Chandler. He fought Tony before that. He beat Tony. He's beat whoever he's needed to beat to get to the title. He's now the champion.
That's true.
Dustin has done the same thing. I'm not knocking what Dustin's done at all. I'm a huge Dustin fan. But
well, obviously you're not, because you're definitely putting him down, saying he didn't beat champion level people.
I am not.
I think Conor had 2 championships, so he beat championship level people.
John, calm down. Pump the brakes, buddy. When you said that Charles had to prove that he had to beat Dustin to prove that he was undisputed, that I didn't think that was true. I think that shouldn't be the case, because he beat who he needed to beat to become the champion.
That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said.
I'm going to rewind the tape.
You go ahead and rewind it. I said Dustin wants to hear the word undisputed, and the only way he can do that is by beating Charles. And Charles needs to have it to where there are people out there that are saying that Dustin Poirier is the best lightweight in the world, and he needs to have that win to prove them wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I don't think Charles needs to prove it to anybody. He's the champ right now, and that's it. That's the bottom line.
You're so wrong. You are so wrong.
No, he doesn't need to prove it to anybody. He has looked phenomenal in beating everybody that he's faced, and Dustin's looked phenomenal as well. But one is the champ, and one is not. So the champ doesn't need to prove anything to anybody.
Okay, but hold on.
Come get it.
Who did the champ beat to get that title? Mike Chandler. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a good fight. I'm not saying it's not. Yeah. But Dustin Poirier beat Justin Gaethje to get that interim title. And then he ran into the guy that, if you're talking about, we were talking about these guys are a level above. There's the one guy that was just a level above that. And so I just look at it. I do think that this is a fight that Charles needs to put his stamp on. I am the best in this weight class.
I could see that. I could see what you're saying when you put it that way. You didn't put it that way to begin with, so that's why I had to give you a hard time. Okay? That's why. My point is that he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody.
Take the wax out of your ears.
He's the man right now. He's the man. I think he's a stud. Dustin and him is going to be a great fight. Okay, to go back on, we've been ranting on this for long enough. This can be a great fight. If it happens in December, great. If Dustin decides to take the money fight and go with Nate Diaz, I'm just going to tell you I told you so.
Dustin, don't ever listen to Josh Thomson. I was all for you taking the money fight with Conor. I understand that one. This is the one you want. This one against Oliveira, that's the fight.
The Diaz fight is the money fight, bro.
Well, if you want to,
who the real money, who the real fucking money fight is. Dustin, take the money fight.
agree.